Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our politics panel on the resumption of the Alberta Next town hall consultations. But first, turning the tide on trade.
Our government is in the process of unleashing $500 billion of investment in energy infrastructure, port infrastructure, particularly intelligence infrastructure as well, with AI.
The Prime Minister on a European tour pitching partnerships to strengthen energy and economic ties. This while stalled trade talks have resumed south of the border, prompted by a Canadian promise to remove retaliatory tariffs on some U.S. products. Joining us now to discuss these latest developments, Carlo Dade, Director of International Policy at the University of Calgary School of Public Policy. Carlo, good to see you, sir. Welcome back.
Always good to see you, Mike.
All right, well, let's start on the image we just saw there a moment ago. Dominic LeBlanc, Canada's Trade Minister, in D.C., meeting with his U.S. counterpart, Howard Lutnick. Talks described only as productive, constructive, and lengthy. So what are you watching for now after what seems like weeks of inactivity?
Well, waiting for a surprise announcement. If you look at what happened with, say, Japan, I think even 2 days before an agreement with Japan was announced, the Trump administration, or Donald Trump himself, was saying he didn't think an agreement was likely. With the UK, we had a similar rapid announcement. So when countries make these mini deals, and let's stress that these are not long, comprehensive agreements, these are 2 to 3 pages on specific items. But when they do happen, they tend to happen rapidly. So I wouldn't read too much into signals or meetings. When we get an announcement, it's probably going to occur as the Japan agreement very quickly.
Okay. So maybe on that point, how necessary, or in getting to that, just that point, how necessary was it to shift from elbows up, which helped get the Carney government elected, to now backing off on some of the reciprocal tariffs?
Well, there were two different arguments here. One is the impact on negotiations with the Trump administration. The other was the impact on Canada. I think we've seen pretty clear evidence from the agreements that have been signed that generally having a more conciliatory or a more patient, more intellectual, less emotional response to the tariffs has paid dividends for countries. Mexico, for instance, has managed to bite its tongue on a number of issues, whereas the countries that have done things to stick their head up amongst all the 90 or so countries with whom the administration is looking to negotiate it have gotten smacked down. So those who jump up tend to get smacked down. So that's one consideration. But I think the more important consideration is to step back and realize that retaliatory tariffs on the Americans arguably will do more damage to Canadians than they will to the Americans. We rely heavily on trade with the U.S., yes, but imposing tariffs, countervail or retaliatory tariffs, raises the cost on things that Canadians buy. We're not paying that cost now. It's the Americans that are paying that cost because their government has imposed tariffs on things that Americans buy. So were we to do the same thing, we would join the Americans in fighting for the shovel that they're using to dig their own grave, or the baseball bat that they're using to hit American consumers. It's hard to take on an emotional level, but we're angry or upset, but it's hard to be angry and upset and smart at the same time. So I look on this in that lens as an adjustment to avoid harm to Canadians.
Okay, so while those cross-border talks appear to be back on, efforts to diversify trade with Europe picking up pace, the PM making the rounds overseas, performative in nature, or is there truly potential to boost trade in a big way across the Atlantic?
It's a little bit performative. There is potential, but I don't see significant potential. Look, if we want to move trade numbers, our largest export by value is oil. So if we could build more pipelines and get oil to Europe, you would see those trade numbers shift drastically. But look, we've been trying to diversify trade since the last time the Americans did this to us, which was 1971, President Nixon. Across the board, 10% tariff. Some nuance there, but largely across the board, 10% tariff. We woke up one morning to find this. Monday morning in August, we woke up to discover that Sunday night the president had done this. We panicked. We spent 50 years investing significant resources to try and diversify from the U.S. And we've had subsequent shocks. Look at softwood lumber. It seems every year they're getting hit with something else. Yet we continue to go to the U.S. There are hard business reasons why business continues to choose the U.S. market and will continue to choose. So diversification will help, I think, in the margins, but the reality is we're next door to the U.S. Business will continue to choose the U.S. market. We've had trade agreements. We've had trade assistance help. We've been trying this for 50 years, and we're still in the U.S. Even when we had a similar shock 50 years ago, we still wind up exporting more to the U.S. than to other markets globally. So we're going to have to get better at dealing with the U.S., and we're going to have to prepare for the elevated cost. The Americans are signaling that the days of free and easy access to the U.S. market are over. There's going to be a higher cost in terms of tariffs, and we're going to have to start making the adjustment to deal with that.
Okay, I'm going to squeeze in one more quick one, Carlo. Federal government announcement said to be imminent where infrastructure is concerned. How closely should Albertans be watching for talk of investment into a new port in Churchill? Significance where energy is concerned there.
It has potential, but there's still major technical issues with Churchill. The muskeg, how much can you move out? How long is the port open? It needs serious investment. How much can you move? You're moving it to Europe, not to Asia. So what we really need to see here in Western Canada, and certainly in Alberta, are discussions about access to tidewater and increasing our ability to move goods to Asia, where there's real demand for our energy, real demand for our commodities. And we're in trouble. The Chinese are investing massively in modern, up-to-date, state-of-the-art automated port capacity in Latin America. So not only are our own difficulties about to bite us, but the competition's about to get a lot sharper and a lot more intense from others in this hemisphere.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. As always, appreciate your time, Carlo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Carlo Dade is Director of International Policy at the University of Calgary's School of Public Policy.